A lot of people have asked me to make this video, and today, finally, I am! So this is the story about why I decided to wear a wedding ring at work. Until recently, I used to work at Starbucks. Obviously, it's a customer service profession, so you talk to a lot of people. And of course, when you talk to a lot of people, there's gonna be some weird people or some situations that you don't want. For my whole time, 10 months I think, working at Starbucks, I was in a happy relationship and I didn't want any other attention from anyone else. I just didn't want that, but I was getting it. I'm a very happy person, I'm a smiley person. I guess that makes it easier for people to approach me and to ask for my number or flirt with me or whatever. So I'm gonna tell the two most extreme stories, I guess you can say, or the most entertaining ones. So the first story, I was part of the opening team for Starbucks The Shard, and since day one we had this customer. He was really nice to me. The reason why he remembered me, I guess, or like I stood out, was because I knew how to spell his name. So I was always like correcting people, because it's one of my favorite names. So I was like, I want this person to like enjoy having his name on his cup. And obviously he thought this was funny, or like he appreciated that or whatever, so he started giving me a lot of attention. And he would come in every day at the exact same time, and some days I would leave before this time because I had class, so I wouldn't see him at all. And this one day I was like getting ready to leave, and then he came in and I was like, oh hi, I didn't think I would see you today. And he was like, of course, you're the best part of my day. And I was like, oh. So I was just there like, this is going in the wrong direction, I don't know how to get out of this. But that was like the day before I left for Norway over the Christmas, and I was gone for like 10 days, so I wasn't about to do anything about that. Like I was like, I'm going. But I also don't want to be like, boom, I have a boyfriend, because I don't want to make it awkward, especially in case he didn't actually have any like thoughts behind what he said. So if I was like, I have a boyfriend, he's like, what do you mean, like I'm not flirting with you kind of thing. I didn't want to create an awkward situation, so I was like, it's too early for me to do something about this. When I came back to work, one of the girls I work with was like, Tone, a customer left you a Christmas card. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Like I was so happy because that was so thoughtful in my eyes. I was like, oh my god, one of them actually thought of me and like gave me a Christmas card. I shouldn't have gotten excited. So this is the card. I still have it. I saved it for the purpose of this video. So it's a cute card. Yeah, cute. So far we're good. Until we get to this. Can I see you and your adorable smile outside work sometime? And then obviously signed with his name and his number and call me. And I was like, how did this just happen? I'm not ready for this. I can't deal, because I knew that he was gonna come like later that day, and I was like, what do we even say? Because I mean, that's a really nice thing to do, and it's really cute and it's really brave. I wouldn't do this unless I was 100% sure that this person would call me. I mean, I had a boyfriend. I had not been flirting with this guy. I hadn't given him any signals that I wanted anything romantic. There was nothing for him to actually just think, oh, this girl probably wants to date me. And then obviously he came in and he was like, oh, Tone, hi. And I was like, I wasn't on the tills. I didn't really have time to talk to him, but I was like, oh, thanks for your card. I've been in Norway. And I said that and I was like, why can't I just not do this? I have to tell him? But I didn't tell him. I failed because I'm a nice person. I hate like having to disappoint people kind of thing. Obviously, I'm not trying to defend myself. In this case, it's way better to hear it early on than to just go along and believing that this person actually wants you or whatever. I know that I was in the wrong for not telling him, but I didn't call him either, so obviously I wasn't interested. But I should have said it anyway. And he kept coming and he was increasingly getting flirtier and flirtier, and I was not returning the flirtiness. This kept going for a while, but I was always like behind the bar, behind the tills, or like whatever, so I was always like separated from him, so I always felt kind of safe in there because I could always like just run away or like hide or whatever, like get away from the conversation or whatever I wanted to. But then one day I was like out cleaning or whatever I was doing, I don't know, and he just suddenly appeared, and I was like, shit. So he was right in front of me and I couldn't go anywhere, and he was like, can I take you out for coffee one day? And I was like, I have a boyfriend. It was like the most awkward moment ever. And he said something along the lines of like, oh, that's what I thought, or I would have been surprised if you hadn't. And I just like kind of ran away, and it was freaking awkward. And the next day he came back, which, what the hell? I would have never stepped foot in that store again. And literally what he did was he came over to me and all he said was, is he taller than me? What? This whole thing was so weird. And this guy kept coming every day. It was really weird. I don't understand why he kept coming. So there was a couple of more like him, not at like to this level at all. But I was still like, this is kind of bothering me because I wish I just didn't have to tell them because I'm not good at I'm just not good at these things. And it makes me uncomfortable. So I was like, is there any kind of like easier way that I can do this? So my friend Elena actually advised me to start wearing a ring because obviously then people can see that I'm taken. A lot of people actually complimented on me on this ring, and a lot of my friends were like, what? When I told them that I was wearing a wedding ring, because they thought that was like really weird, or some people told me it was bad luck, and some people literally thought that was a bad thing to do because I was kind of like insulting marriage or whatever. I don't think so, because literally to me this is just a ring. Like I bought it myself, no one gave it to me, so it doesn't mean anything. So you might not agree with this strategy or whatever, but it was the easiest solution for me really, and it worked. So moving on to the second story. This one time I was at work and this guy came in, this customer, and everyone knew him and they were talking to him, and I was like, I've never met this guy before, but he seems really nice because he's talking to everyone. And I started talking to him and he was talking about how he was gonna buy a new bike soon. And I mean, I like bikes. I don't know that much about bikes, but my boyfriend's introduced me to the bike world. So I was a bit excited that I could actually talk to someone about this because it's one of those things you can't really talk to a lot of people about it. So we were talking about bikes and I was talking about how I want to get my own bike someday. And he was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, if you need any bike lessons, call me. So he gave me his number. This only says for bike lessons, his number is on the other side. I don't know how to take that because it could be like just a really nice gesture and it could be really creepy and weird. So at that point I thought, I'm just gonna take this in the best way possible because that's what I usually do, because I want to think the best of people. So this guy kept coming in like every day, and it was a bit tiring because he would always want to talk to me, like, and he would always want my attention, and even if I wasn't serving customers, he would be like, Tone, can you get my coffee please? And this guy was like 40, 50. It was a family man kind of thing, like he wasn't my age. So that's why I tried to not think of it as a creepy thing, because I just didn't see it that way. But then he started throwing around like weird comments. It would only happen like every like 2 months and stuff, so it wasn't like it happened all the time. This one time I was at a work meeting, so I was wearing private clothes, I wasn't wearing a uniform, and I was wearing dungaroos, and as you probably know, dungaroos do show off your figure, but I was just stood there and he was like, oh hi, I didn't really notice you, and I was like, oh yeah, because I'm not wearing my uniform, and he was like, I don't mind. That was the first time it got like weird, and then the last time it got weird, it got proper weird, because at that point I had started wearing a ring, so I was clearly not interested in any of this kind of attention. And of course I had told him that I had a boyfriend because I had told him about like these trips that my boyfriend and I went on and like these things that we did and all this, so it's not like he didn't know. So yeah, he came in one morning and I was like, hi, what can I get for you? And he was like, oh, that's a loaded question. And I couldn't think of any other way to get out of that situation than to just use humor. And I was like, hey, I'm a married lady. That's inappropriate. And he was like, I don't care. That ring can come off. And he said that like 3 times, that ring can come off. I mean, I'm convinced he meant that as a joke, but it wasn't funny. I did not appreciate that joke. So after that I was a bit like trying to avoid him and stuff, but nothing else happened after that, so at least that was good. So yeah, what do you think about wearing a wedding ring? Like, do you think it's a good solution, or do you think it's stupid or like a cowardly way out or whatever? For me, it was just the best solution because I'm not that good at talking to people, and if I could get out of the situation without having to do that, that's ideal. So yeah, let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon with a new one. Keep up the good vibes.